Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 9, text number 30. Dhruva uvacha Samadhinanika bhavena yatpadam Viduhu sanandadaya urdhvaretasaha Maasirham shadbhir amushya padayosh Chayam upetya pagataha pratanmatihi. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dhruva Maharaj thought to himself, to endeavor to be situated in the shade of the lotus feet of the Lord is not an ordinary task. Because even the great brahmacharis headed by Sanandana, who practiced Ashtanga Yoga in trance, attained the shelter of Lord's lotus feet only after many, many births. Within 6 months, I achieved the same result. Yet, due to my thinking differently from the Lord, I fell down from my position. But in this verse, Dhruva Maharaj himself explains the cause of his moroseness. First, he laments that to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly is not easy. Even great saintly persons like the 4 celebrated brahmacharis headed by Sanandana, Sanaka, Sanatana and Sanat Kumara practiced the yoga system for many, many births and remained in trance before getting the opportunity to see the Supreme Lord face to face. As far as Dhruva Maharaj was concerned, he saw the Supreme Lord personally after 6 months of practice in devotional service. He expected, therefore, that as soon as he met the Supreme Lord, the Lord would take him to his abode immediately without waiting. Dhruva Maharaj could understand very clearly that the Lord had offered him the rule of the world for 36,000 years, because in the beginning he was under the spell of the material energy and wanted to take revenge against his stepmother and rule over his father's kingdom. Dhruva Maharaj greatly lamented his propensity for ruling the material world and his revengeful attitude towards other living entities. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So now Dhruva Maharaj himself is explaining the cause of his moroseness, why he is feeling bad in spite of having seen the Lord face to face. When one sees the Supreme Lord face to face, one completely comes in touch with the Lord and one becomes completely purified. Purified doesn't necessarily mean there is no moroseness. Even our great acharyas, in their Vaishnava prayers, they have expressed deep moroseness. Why I have wasted my life without worshipping you, etc., etc. And so therefore, spiritual life or spiritual realization does not mean the bliss as people think. The bliss as we think, happiness, pleasure, everything like that. Otherwise one will ask the question, Dhruva Maharaj saw the Supreme Lord Still, where is this moroseness? This moroseness is connected to the Supreme Lord. Pain and pleasure, joy and agony, these are all part of bhakti. These are all part of bhakti. Our goal is not agoniless life. Our goal is not, oh, I shouldn't feel bad at all. Always I should be in feel-good mood. These are all material desires. Krishna consciousness means attachment to Krishna. And in the process of attachment to Krishna, it is not material dualities, but they are all transcendental relationship of, just like the gopis, so much suffering due to separation of the Lord. Their mind was suffering like anything. Not ordinary suffering. When somebody is attached to something and you very attached to something and then it disappears, there is so much of pain, mental pain. But that is glorified as a rasa in separation, as transcendental rasa. At the soul level, these are all, the soul level, the soul enjoys relationship. So they rejoice in that relationship at the soul level. That is why they are morose. They understood the greatness of being part and parcel of God. Dhruva Maharaj understood that I cannot be separated from the Lord. Because of my separated thinking, now I have to live some more lives. One more life, 36,000 years I have to live now in the material world. I wish I could go back to the Supreme Lord's abode immediately. So each of us as living entities are responsible for our desires. We have to be very, very careful. Like Dhruva Maharaj, we are also endeavoring to be Krishna conscious. Like he went within 6 months into trance. We can also go in 6 months into trance of chanting and hearing. There is one quote of Prabhupada, very significant meaning is there. How in 6 months we can also go into Samadhi. All of us can go into Samadhi. You should hear. That is called Samadhi. If you chant and hear, then your mind is interlocked by hearing and chanting. That is Samadhi. If we lock our mind in chanting and hearing, that is Samadhi. Samadhi means trance. Trance means completely absorbed in. So by hearing, chanting, acting both ways, you will be in trance. That trance will keep you in transcendental stage. That is called Samadhi. So if you become inattentive, that is offense. An attachment to material things while engaged in practice of chanting. We should always remember that we are trying to be elevated to spiritual platform. So spiritual platform means no more anxiety for sense gratification. That is spiritual platform. Material platform means everybody is hankering after sense gratification. All people, they are working hard day and night, very hard. And the aim is sex at night. That's all, sense gratification. Prabhupada lecture in Los Angeles, 1970, on 10 offenses. So, we are all very fortunate to have received the Hare Krishna Mahamantra through the transcendental source, now Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Guru Parampara. The most valuable thing in our life is what Prabhupada has given us formally at the time of initiation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, we are no less fortunate than Dhruva Maharaj, because Krishna is come down as his avatara in his sound form, and we have all got opportunity to serve the Supreme Lord. So the point here is that just like Dhruva Maharaj served the Lord and he got darshan of the Lord, yet the Lord told you there is some deep material desire in you, I will fulfill that. But once having experienced the Lord, Dhruva Maharaj is cursing, why I had that desire? The stupid desire. So in the same way, as Prabhupada is saying in this quote, having material attachment, having anxiety for material sense gratification, having desire for material sense gratification, all this has to be, even though associating with the holy name will give us a higher taste, which helps us to give up all these lower taste, but we have to be determined to give up these lower taste. Otherwise, in spite of chanting, instead of going back to Godhead, we'll go to different planets and have good life, materially good life. But as far as devotee is concerned, he understands that there is no good life in this material world. Good life is as bad life. It's all same. Why? Because it's all illusory. Everything comes and goes. Nothing is existence in this material world. Body is not existence. Bodily relationship is not existence. It is not Sat, it is Asat. The only Sat in the entire existence is the soul and the super soul, and the ever-changing energies of the Lord. Our bodies are not Sat, our lives are not Sat. Waste of time, waste of soul's energy, deprivation of the soul, his association, who is entitled for constantly being associated with the transcendental energies of the Lord. Instead of that, I had to stay within the three modes of material nature. So this is the 10th offense, be inattentive and also to maintain material attachments. Because the chanting of the Hare Krishna is doing exactly opposite. It is detaching, cutting you off from illusion. It is cutting you off from false ego. Material life is a life of a false I. It is cutting you off. Nama Prabhu cuts you off from that. But if you go and embrace again false ego, that I am this body, and I am the body, therefore I am body, body needs ananda, therefore I will go after sense gratification. It will result in many more lives. So we have to be very careful. It's a great lesson in the Dhruva Maharaj Leela, in Srimad-Bhagavatam. When we feel or when we see stock of material desire in us, we should see how all this life is so flickering. What is the use of this material desire? Just passing by one body to another body in illusion, thinking I am the body. I am the body, people connected to my body, my love, my affection, but everything is all bogus. Everything is bogus. All the stories that we live in our lives, all the millions of stories I have lived, is all false. Because I do not know. I myself, I do not know who I was in that life, previous life, previous life, previous life. And each life I am thinking I am that body, I am that life, I am that person. In each life I am thinking that's my father, my mother, my relationship, my friend, my society. Everything goes away, isn't it? Not that we did not exist. 200 years back, can we say we did not exist? We existed. We are born in order to die. When we are born in order to die, then the life itself is not the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to attain something for the eternal, the Sat in this body. And that Sat is the eternal servant of Krishna. Krishna is the supreme Sat. To attain devotional service to Krishna, become detached from material energies, become attracted to Krishna by awakening our Krishna consciousness, is the purpose of material life, or is the purpose of life in this body. Life in this body is not meant for bodily life. Whatever bodily life, everything as per destiny will be delivered. Sukha and Dukkha will be delivered. One should not over-endeavor, just do one's duty, that's all. One should not over-endeavor for anything for the body. Cannot change, it's destined. And if at all anything change happens, Krishna, because the devotee has surrendered to Prabhupada, and Krishna's destiny is in the hands of the Supreme Lord. So we have to follow these instructions carefully if we have to elevate ourselves to Krishna consciousness, which is our aim. To change our consciousness from bodily consciousness to Krishna consciousness. To change our consciousness from I am the Lord of all I survey. I am the independent enjoyer of everything. To change the consciousness from that to the consciousness that Krishna is a sole owner, knower, enjoyer of everybody and everything in existence. So giving up this self-centered, self-serving, enjoyment, which is actually an illusory enjoyment by an illusory identity. As I said, so many lives, we have no connection. We have no connection, not only we have no connection with the people, the land and all remains. 200 years back also same land remained. But all the jivas, the population, the human population on earth, souls are there still. But all the stories are gone. That is why it is called history. Because it's all story. Past is all story. Mr. So-and-so, what I was last life is not there. Mr. So-and-so's father is not there. Mr. So-and-so's mother is not there. Mr. So-and-so's wife is not there. And the father's Mr. So-and-so son is not there. Wife's Mr. So-and-so husband is not there. So what is the joke it is? That means all the story, because we lived those stories. We are thinking, this is me, this is life. I am living for that. I am living for my body, living for my bodily relationship, and living for my love, pleasure, happiness, material pleasure, happiness, knowledge, all these things. So one prays to the worshipable Lord, to the deities, to the holy name, to take out all this old stock in my chittam. And detachment from that can happen by the mercy of the detachment. Detachment, just like your pain and pleasure, I am detached. So many people in the material world are suffering pain, loss of money, loss of this, that. I am not bothered. I am detached. Exactly in the same way, there are so many kama bijas in our heart. And right now, what is that? That is attachment is there. Attachment, it is mine. How can I give up that desire? It is mine. Detachment means to see that that desire is not mine. But how does that happen? Very fine discrimination is required. Fine intelligence is required. That fine intelligence comes from chanting the holy name, hearing the holy name. Cheto darpanamarjanam means cleansing the heart of these illusory identities, illusory feelings of ego, false ego. Just with common sense logic we can see. The entire present population will vanish. All the names, everything that we see, relationship and events and everything will vanish to zero. And it's happening. Individually it's happening. Person by person. People whom you know for many, many years, suddenly they leave the body. Gone. But if we have those, if you hold on attachment to the desires, then holy name will not interfere. Cheto darpanam, the method would be to give you some more lives. Go and enjoy if you want. So cleansing our heart of all these false pleasure beliefs, false beliefs of power, false beliefs of knowledge, false beliefs of what is knowledge rasa, false belief of power rasa, false beliefs of love rasa, pleasure rasa, false belief of play rasa. These are all Satya, Chitta, Ananda rasas. We all have very deep beliefs. This constitutes rasa. And we don't have to take one by one out. In Krishna consciousness, you don't have to take one by one. Can wholesale detachment should be practiced. That is why Prabhupada continuously in so many lectures goes on repeating about the seed of illusion is I am this body. And who I am an eternal servant of Krishna. That is all. Continuously we act as eternal servant of Krishna. Think, feel, will, act for Krishna. Then that's the way to burn off all the past karma bijas that are there, with all the desires. Very dangerous, because law of karma, you have to understand, there's a parallelly, the law of karma is a very powerful law. The entire material world is running by the law of karma. If you have desires, gone. At the time of death, you will go to another body. And the danger is once we go into to fulfill all those desires, material world is always dangerous. And what is the biggest danger? Biggest danger is forgetting Krishna consciousness. So all these propensities, that very deep propensities that we have, it has to be engaged purely in service of the Lord. And Lord will bless by burning it out in His service. That we have discussed the last few classes about the force of our guna, kala and karma. The whole process of dovetailing. So we have got a great, we are in a better position than Dhruva Maharaj. Because of the extraordinary mercy of this parampara, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through into Prabhupada, that we not only are getting an opportunity to associate with the Lord directly through His holy name, by chanting and hearing. We not only that, we are getting an opportunity to, just like here Dhruva Maharaj was only engaged in meditation. But here we are given an opportunity to engage all our propensities in service of the Lord. Otherwise these propensities come and bug us. Because it has to unwind. Guna pravaha. As it unwinds, you just engage it in Krishna's service. So finish off everything in one life. That is the reason why Prabhupada said, just don't imitate, go and sit and chant like a Babaji. One may say, oh, if you go on chanting, then that is enough, no? No, that is enough. If you go on chanting, that is enough. Provided you give up all these propensities. But to give up these propensities, very deep propensities, it requires dovetailing. That is why Prabhupada has given us this preaching mission, engaging in preaching, as well as engaging in chanting. Extremely important. We'll go crazy with our gunas forces if we don't engage in the preaching mission of the Lord. And then it will have boomerang. You'll not be able to chant. Same way, if you don't chant properly, you'll not be able to dovetail your guna praha properly. That also will make you go crazy. That is why Acharya knows exactly according to time, place, circumstances, how this Krishna consciousness has to be delivered to the living entities. We cannot invent new methods because the Acharya exactly knows exactly how to purify the living entity and take him back to Godhead. So one-sided understanding that, okay, chanting and all is real spiritual. All the other things are not spiritual. No, it is a spiritual process. Preaching is also should be taken as a sadhana. It is also purifying you. Very specifically purifying you. And therefore we should pray to the Lord, that pray to the holy name, and we also, like Dhruva Maharaj meditated, we also chant and hear. Along with that depth of our heart, we should desire that no propensity should remain in my heart, material propensity. So you say, okay, then Nama will, Prabhu will take you. Nama Prabhu will cleanse all those things. But you have to say, okay. We don't say, okay, no. Because the Lord respects our free will. As Dhruva Maharaj was given 36,000 years of life in the material world. So this is one important point that is coming out. By the mercy of Narada Muni, Dhruva Maharaj got to see the Lord face to face. The great four Kumaras, they attained the darshan of the Lord after millions and millions of births. And here in 6 months, Dhruva Maharaj, a small boy, saw the Lord face to face. Why? The mercy of Guru. Whatever his desire may be, but he strictly followed what his Guru said. For a small boy, all those instructions to follow is not easy. He followed all those things. Not the power of his tapasya, but he had so much devotion. Yes, I should strictly follow whatever my Guru has said. And then automatically, because of Yasya Prasadat, Bhagavad Prasadat, he got the mercy. The four Kumaras, they were yogis, they were jnanis, meditating on Satya for so long. So therefore they took billions and millions of years, lives. Then I got it in 6 months. Dhruva Maharaj is saying, I got it in 6 months. So foolish I was. Now Lord has given me one life. So therefore it is said one should not have any desire which is not the desire of the Lord. This is one of the 6 guidelines in surrender. We all desire, but we have to filter our desire. To have no other desire than desire of Prabhupada and Krishna. Any other desire means immediately you will be able to connect it to your bodily identity, or you will be connected to your social ego. A desire of the social ego or desire of the body, desire of the senses, it will be connected. That is the meaning of any other desire. For instance, in Dhruva Maharaj, what was his any other desire? How his thinking was, it said that thinking differently from the Lord. What is the connection between Dhruva Maharaj feeling vengeful for his stepmother and then wants a be greater than great-grandfathers and all those desires. What is the connection with Krishna? There's no connection with Krishna. So they're all social ego, false ego. The whole incident happened out of social ego. See how even for a small boy there is social ego. So material desires means either desire for sense gratification or desire for name, fame, power, etc. Social ego. Name, fame, power, puja, pratishtha, lava is all coming out of comparison with somebody else. Because if there is no comparison, there is no puja, lava, pratishtha. Among everybody, I want to be, I want to be greater. This is puja, pratishtha, lava. So, and alternate, and what is the other thing? Body is kama, krodha, lobha, moha. All these things lead to agitated senses, and one wants to satisfy one's senses. So all material desire can be classified under these 2 things. Centered around the false ego that I am a member of this world. I am a member of this society with my identity as this body. This is the seed of all illusion. Matter is not illusion, body is not illusion. Illusion is our concept that I am this body. The illusion is a story that we are playing around the idea that I am this body. That is the illusion. So moment that bubble, that seed is broken, I am not this body, then the whole illusion is bursted. The person is still in this body, he is still seeing the bodies, but he is not thinking he is the body, he is not thinking others are their bodies. That is what Prabhupada repeatedly says. Maya means in our head. We disconnect everything from Krishna. The moment I say I am this body, then I have disconnected from Krishna. Because this body is material energy of Krishna, it is not me, it is not, I am Amsha of Krishna. Amaya Amsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, I am Amsha. Jivera Surupoy Nityera Krishna Das. I am eternal servant of Krishna. That is my original identity. Even now, that is my identity. And I am not self-realized also, that is my original identity. Not that, some original identity I tell myself 100 times and create, I am servant of Krishna, I am servant. No, we are servants of Krishna. That is covered, and all our soul energies are engaged in serving Maya. Maya means disconnected thinking from the Lord. And the Acharya tells us, now change your life, let Krishna be the center of everything. That's all self-realization. This is another nice quote somebody sent. Vrindavan life means attachment for Krishna. Mother Yashoda is attached to Krishna, Nanda Maharaj is attached to Krishna, cowherd boys are attached to Krishna, the calves and cows are attached to Krishna, Radharani is attached to Krishna, the trees are attached to Krishna, flowers are attached to Krishna, water is attached to Krishna. That is Vrindavan. Vrindavan means central attachment is Krishna. That is Vrindavan. So if you can create the central attachment for Krishna, then it is Vrindavan. Then you can create Vrindavan anywhere, in any family, any society, any country. There is no problem in organizing family, there is no organizing society, all these things. But everywhere there should be attachment to Krishna. Just make the point of attachment to Krishna and it is Vrindavan. That is required. That is Krishna consciousness movement. Prabhupada says that is Krishna consciousness. Means how to become attached to Krishna. Because I am servant of Krishna, I am part and parcel of Krishna. There is a part, some small part of this, it got detached. You would get attached. Now we are attached to matter, we are detached to spirit. We are detached from our Supreme Spirit, attached to matter. And all these deep attachments, very deep attachments, can be easily removed by daily 2 hours of Samadhi. Chanting and hearing that very chant is called, we have our definition, what Prabhupada has given definition. If you are able to chant and hear only for 2 hours, please understand you are in trance. But if you think you have gone out of trance, you break your Samadhi. Break your Samadhi. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, you said that attachment to Krishna is required, and that is Krishna consciousness. There might be some people who might be differently attached to Krishna.
Some people who are?
Might be differently attached to Krishna, like sentimentally. Like someone may say, I'm attached to Krishna, my life is for Krishna. A boy said me, I'm married to Krishna. So how do we understand their attachment and what we are following attachment in Krishna consciousness. So what is the difference?
Their attachment also, if they are not connected to any parampara, on their own they are attached to Krishna, they talk about it. He is a million times better than any karmi. Because some previous connection is there. But ultimately one has to become servant of the servant. So one has to accept a pure servant who will teach him how to be. What is the result of that attachment? What to do, what not to do, he will not know. So then it is called sentimental attachment. Any attachment should lead to action towards that object of attachment. The attachment is very deep, then automatically you are detached from everything else. You cannot say I am attached to Krishna and I am attached to Maya. That means that much less you are attached to Krishna. You are not attached to Krishna. You may feel you are attached to Krishna, but you are not attached to Krishna. Simply feeling is not enough. Because you are not only feeling, you are thinking, feeling, willing. So are you willing according to that feeling 24 hours? No problem. That's the best. That is Krishna consciousness. You will feel for Krishna, but as far as willing is concerned, I am very attached to so many other willings, sense gratification, this thing, this thing. So that's why Prabhupada translated the word bhakti into not devotion. Devotion service. A willing has to be there. Devotion is feeling. Service is willing. Action. Not only service, devotional service. Yes, feeling should be there. But it should manifest. Devotion should manifest as service to the Lord. Service definition means to engage in activities for the pleasure of the Lord. Any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, you said one should not have any desire other than the desire of the Lord. And any other desire means immediately it gets connected to the false ego and propels one towards the materialistic life. So as bhaktas or as devotees, our desire or our prayer to the Lord, should it be that, oh Lord, please dovetail my materialistic desires, or oh Lord, let me not have any materialistic desires? Because as it unwinds and as you said, Prabhu, any bija can fructify at any point of time. And it again propels one towards a dovetailed action. But should our prayer be, let not there be any material desire, or it should be dovetailed?
No, the real understanding of dovetailing desire means it is dovetailed by Guru. We have surrendered our life to spiritual master. It's not that I am keeping, once I have surrendered, it is no longer material desire. If Guru is manifesting through you some different, so many material desire you had, you gave it to him and he gives it back. Now it is spiritual. He is spiritual. That is spiritual. So we should not consider dovetailing to be some material process. Dovetailing is nothing but serving the spiritual master with whatever we have, and then whatever we short of it, he gives. This way, one small component, yes, our karma we have dovetailed. Other than that, in the dovetailing process, many things are happening. Lord's mercy is happening. Lord is a real doer of all the activities that we are doing, dovetailing. We are not the doer. That ability we are given to Krishna, and Krishna, Prabhupada is using us. So that way, that's a right way of seeing dovetailing of desires. You already given, at the time of initiation, surrendered everything. Your whole bag of karma you have surrendered. After that, what seed he picks up and puts in your life today, tomorrow, that is his lookout. Now you don't think this is mine. Once I have given this body to Prabhupada, I cannot say this body is mine again. Then you are not serious. Only lip service you are giving. I am a disciple of Prabhupada. Body, mind, all energies should be given to Guru and Krishna. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.